So, I think my beer has a leak. Because it's dry, but there's a puddle under it. My kettle started to leak the other day, and we had to throw it away, but we couldn't figure out where the leak was coming from. So I have to tell a story. A story I've never told before. It's a great story. And it's kind of a sad story, and it's a good story. First of all, I really, really, really hope that you enjoyed as much as I did The Lonesome Organist. A collision of talent so extreme, it's pretty much impossible to explain. So, when I was in college, I saw The Lonesome Organist. I was a miserable college student at Wesleyan University, living in this house called the Eclectic Society. And the Lonesome Organist, magically came through and played at some house party, because Eclectic was always, it was one of those cool houses on campus that always seemed to have astonishingly hip indie bands that I had never heard of or whatever, but we had a cool radio station and shows were booked magically, and I would underneath the bedroom that I lived in, there were people of immense talent, fucking Ani DeFranco would come through and play a show, and I'd be like, Jesus Christ, she's in the living room. And Lonesome Organist was one of those acts, and I was just fucking blown away. And his name stuck in my head and rattled around in there. And then, probably 6 years later, I wrote this song that became a Dresden Dolls song, but totally unrelated to him personally. I wrote this song based on weird high school experiences that I had had with piano teachers that wanted to sleep with me, of which I seemed to have amazing piano teacher luck. They just all wanted to sleep with me, and I wanted to sleep with many of them, but not all of them. So the whole thing was really complicated, as it is. And so I wrote this song that became a Dresden Doll song called "Lonesome Organist Rapes Page Turner," which I thought, of course, at the time was a hilarious song title. No one else thought that, and it was this very Morrissey influenced, very, very Smithy song that Brian and I thought nothing would ever come of, but then we finally actually put it on a record, and it was a great song, and our fans loved it, and that was that. Until fast forward another 5 years or so, and I was on tour this spring with Evelyn, and I remember I was in Europe, I was in Amsterdam, and I got an email from my mother, of all people, and she sent me this email, and in short, she was just like, "You're a terrible person! Look at this link." And I clicked on this link, and it was an interview with Jeremy doing an interview with The Onion. And in this interview, The Onion asks, "So, what's up with Amanda Palmer and the Dresden Dolls, using your band name in a song title?" And he's like, "Oh, it's so terrible. It's ruined my life on Google." Because people Google me, and they get, this terrible, disgusting, song title before they come to my band. And I felt so bad. And I felt so bad that on the spot, I looked him up on the internet, found his booking agent, wrote an email, and was like, "I have to apologize for this. The era of Google has ushered in a whole new set of problems with song lyrics and titles." And one thing led to another, and I emailed back and forth to Jeremy, and was like, "I'm really, 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 really sorry about my song. What can I do?" He was like, "I don't know, da da da." And I was like, "Well, will you come to Boston and play a show with me?" And he was like, "Sure." And you just saw that show. And that's the story. I think it all kind of hopefully turned out well in the wash. I feel like you all, if you can all do me a personal favor and buy his CD, then we'll just all win, for sure. But he's as amazing now as I remember when I saw him, whatever it was, probably 13 years ago. And he came all the way from Chicago, basically, to do this show with me tonight. So thank you. And even though I haven't played it in probably, I don't know, I probably haven't played it in 4 or 5 years, I'm going to attempt, as fitting with my theme of learning all my Justin Bell songs, even though this wasn't even one of the ones I had to learn. I'm going to play it.